안녕하십니까. 저는 고려대학교 미디어학과 석사과정 정연입니다. 오늘 제가 발표할 주제는 Chinese mainstream in China idol audition reality show, a study focused on youth with you of iQIYI. The first part is background. In recent years, idol group audition shows gained great popularity in China, and China's idolatry subculture has developed rapidly. In 2018, idol producer produced by iQIYI gained great popularity. Then in July, China government issued a regulation said that idol group audition shows should advocate Chinese mainstream culture. It is reported that Youth With You, which is also Idol Produce Season 2, made a series of adjustments to incorporate it into Chinese mainstream narrative. However, the number of viewings, the rating scores are all declined in Douban, one of the most popular video content rating platforms in China, as you can see in the picture on the right. The second part is literature review. First, Chinese mainstream in political discourse means the political ideology promoted by Communist Party of China. It was raised in 1987 and possessed the mainstream ideological function in 1994. In contemporary China, Chinese mainstream had two parts. The first part is core socialist values. It refers to democracy, prosperity, harmony, and civility on the national level, and it means the rule of law, freedom, justice, equality on the value orientation on social level. For the standard of value in individual level, it means friendship, integrity, dedication, and patriotism. As for Chinese dream, it means the individual's effort to construct national prosperity, fulfilling the Chinese dream of great national renewal. In culture industry, Chinese dream calls for the revival of Chinese traditional culture and the worldwide spread of it. Based on literature review, China reality shows mainly had three development stages, which are beginning stage, developing stage, and booming stage. The third part is Chinese mainstream in reality shows. First, reality shows broadcasted in CCTV mainly promoted Chinese mainstream of dedication, integrity, equality, reconciliation, and patriotism. Second, reality shows produced by local TV stations promoted patriotism and increasing cultural identity. For the reality shows produced by video platforms, it showed the concern for ordinary people and presented many core socialist values. It is noteworthy that mainstream ideology integrated into the reality show The Rap of China influenced the China underground rap subculture's development. To sum up, Chinese mainstream in reality shows are mainly about core socialist values, but obviously It influenced the development of Chinese subculture. For the fourth part, China Idol audition reality shows. It mainly have 4 periods. First, in the imperial period, it has the characteristic of strong professionalism and low participation. In the second development period, China audition shows gradually formed a set of systematic production model. And in third adjustment period, China government issued a series of policies regulated audition shows. In the rebirth period, idol group audition show appeared in 2015. Subsequently, China video platforms produced 7 idol group audition shows in about 2 years, as you can see in the form of the left hand. The next part is China Idol audition show reality shows characteristics. It is showing the competition and growth process of trainees, providing satisfaction of cultivation to audiences. There are some differences of idol group audition shows from traditional audition shows, as you can see in the table. For the fifth part of literature review, China idolatry subculture in audition reality shows. Here are the definitions of subculture and idolatry. But what is important here is that Chinese subculture has the tendency of obsession and fanaticism of idolatry. Chinese worship girls who had levels of self-assertion, express themselves bravely and neutral style in audition show Supergirls. Then, in The Voice of China, Chinese concerned about audition idols' personal struggle stories. They worshipped them as their spirit models for fighting with difficulties. And in idol group audition shows, Chinese like trainees who are excellent in all aspects and show the real characters of ordinary Chinese young people. They worship them for entertaining. To sum up, the idols created by China audition shows in different stages have distinguishing characteristics, and the meanings represented by idols also changed with the development of people's social life and psychological needs. For the fourth part is research questions and methodology. Based on literature review, this thesis has 2 research questions. The first is, what is the Chinese mainstream culture embodied in idol group audition show Use With You? The second is, after the regulation issued, what are the changes of idolatry subculture in Use With You? The purpose of this thesis is to analyze the meaning of Chinese mainstream embodied in the competition and the growth process of young trainees in idol audition reality show Use With You. Therefore, the methodology of this thesis is to apply the narrative analysis framework used for media text analysis to explore the deep meaning in the text. According to Chapman, the narrative consists of 2 layers, a story about what happened to whom, and the narrative discourse of how the story was conveyed. As you can see, my analysis framework is based on narrative structure of Chapman in 1978. Then, in-depth interviews was conducted to people who watched Youth With You and worship at least one Chinese in it. The fifth part is results. First, the story analysis. Characteristics of the characters. For Chinese, their unremitting struggle for their dreams. It reflects Chinese dream. For mentors' characteristics, it is serious, responsible, which represented the dedication of Chinese. It is noteworthy that Youth With You is the only one that introduced traditional artists into the idol audition show program. Their characteristics is moral models of the Chinese, which means patriotism. And second, the relationships between the characters. There are mainly three relationships. First, for the Chinese relationships, it emphasized the mutual help relationship between Chinese, which showed the harmony and friendship of Chinese socialist values. Second, relationship between mentors and Chinese is strict requirement and gross companionship. It means dedication and construct national prosperity spirit. For the relationship between traditional artists and the Chinese, they concern and provide chances to Chinese growth, which is later eliminated. Chinese stayed by their recommendation right. This means the authority and power of patriotism. Third, the connecting structure of events unfold. This thesis used the equilibrium and disequilibrium story structure raised by narrative scholar Todorov to derive the ideological implications indicated by the factors involved in the course transformation of narratives and the difference between the beginning and the end of the story. Not only competition and growth in talents, but also the moral education classes and welfare activities are the plots that drove the story to develop, which emphasizes harmony, society, patriotism, construct national prosperity. For discourse analysis, this is based on focus concept of discourse, which means it is the way of constituting social practice together with knowledge power relationships and forms of subjectivity. For the linguistic discourse, the linguistic discourse transmitted core social values and the Chinese dream very frequent, and it empowered artists' discourse at the highest hierarchy level, which refers to the importance of patriotism. For visual discourse, Kendall and the Victim in 1998 draw 5 steps in applying focused discourse analysis. The basis of the second step is identification of rules on what can be said or written and what cannot be said or written. Use with you displayed more things that conform to core values of socialism, like the things showing democracy, prosperity, the things they are doing welfare activities, but Use with you post-edited the things that may related with the mainstream culture from their perspective, which is no obvious jewelry, their hair color or close to black. The changes of idolatry subculture in use with you are mainly 3. First, the parasocial relationship between fans and their idols weakened. Second, idolatry subculture was restricted by Chinese mainstream culture. Third, the incorporation tendency of idolatry subculture into the mainstream culture. Xinhua.net of the State News Agency reported use with you and praised the Chinese mainstream it represented. Moreover, idol group U9, produced by Use with You, has been invited as a guest to CCTV for many times. Fans of U9 are very happy that the idol they worship has been recognized by Chinese mainstream media. This showing the tendency of idolatry subculture integrated into the mainstream culture narrative. There are mainly 2 limitations of this thesis. First, the author do not have enough time to analyze the result deeply, so I may have to rewrite the result and the conclusion part. Second, the number of interviewees are very small. I need to do more interviews. That's all. 이상 제 발표가 끝났습니다. 경청해 주셔서 감사합니다.